Please continue watching part 2 of the movie. The police had tracked down Eunha's whereabouts. However, the fake police officer, fearing his secret would be exposed, ordered his men to eliminate the girl before the authorities arrived. At that moment, Eunha was talking to a woman while the boy remained seated in the car. When she returned, she bluntly told the boy that his mother did not want to see him again and advised him to forget about her. Those words deeply wounded the boy, making him believe Eunha was lying to him. As they argued, Eunha was suddenly ambushed and knocked to the ground. A group of gangsters arrived and took the boy, while one of them stayed behind to silence Eunha. But she wasn't that easy to deal with. She swiftly pulled a screwdriver from her pocket, stabbed the assassin in the thigh, and quickly kicked him to the ground. Without hesitation, she escaped and chased after the car carrying the boy. Eunha managed to intercept the vehicle. She tied her shirt around a pipe and set it on fire. Within seconds, the parking garage's fire suppression system activated, causing water to flood the area. The wet floor became slippery, obscuring visibility, and the vehicle carrying the boy lost control, crashing into a pillar and coming to a stop. As the driver stepped out to check the situation, Eunha rushed at him like a storm. Quickly, she seized the vehicle and tried to start it to escape, but at that moment, another car came charging toward her. Using her expert driving skills, Eunha swerved just in time, narrowly avoiding the crash. But the assassin wasn't ready to give up. He accelerated in pursuit. Eunha immediately used the car door as a weapon, sending it flying into the enemy's windshield. Yet he remained unscathed. The furious assassin cornered Eunha, leaving her with no way out. She had no choice but to reverse, while he sped up with a sinister grin. But in an instant, his smile vanished. Eunha suddenly turned on the high beams at full brightness and sharply veered to the side. By the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. His car plunged off the cliff, shattering into pieces. Though she had successfully escaped, Eunha was severely injured and passed out. The immobilized car left the boy terrified and crying. He ran out onto the road, desperately waving for help. A kind woman stopped, and after she helped bandage Eunha, the grateful boy used all the money he had to buy an old car as a token of appreciation for Eunha, thanking her for saving his life. Meanwhile, intelligence agents began suspecting the crime boss, who was hiding under the guise of a police inspector. They gathered more evidence and finally uncovered undeniable proof of his crimes. When Eunha woke up, she was surprised to learn that the boy had spent all his money on an old, worn-down car for her, even though it didn't have a key. Seeing his innocent face, she couldn't bring herself to scold him. Eunha called Beek. After some grumbling, Beek agreed to help them forge passports so they could escape the country. However, the crime boss had decided to put an end to things once and for all. He hired a team of ruthless assassins willing to kill anyone in their way. As Eunha and the boy arrived at their base, she entrusted Beek with an important key. But just as they secured a ship for their escape, the assassins tracked them down and stormed the hideout. Without a word, they mercilessly attacked Beek. Knowing persuasion was useless, the crime boss used a nail gun to torture him. Despite the pain, Beek refused to reveal anything. Downstairs, the mechanic received the distress signal and immediately hid the boy inside a car trunk, instructing him not to come out. Armed and ready to rescue Beek, the mechanic was discovered and brutally beaten. Seeing the mechanic gravely injured, Beek finally revealed that the key was inside a safe, requiring both a code and his fingerprint to open. As soon as the safe was unlocked, Beek suddenly grabbed a gun and shot 2 assassins dead. But moments later, the crime boss gunned him down, emptying the entire magazine before stealing the key. When Eunha returned, she heard the gunshots. Looking through the window, she saw Beek had been brutally killed. Overcome with grief, she clenched her screwdriver tightly, determined to avenge him. She cut the power to the entire building, using the darkness to eliminate 2 assassins. Facing the crime boss, she stabbed him in the stomach, dodged his bullet, and continued attacking. After taking him down, she grabbed a long knife, ready to finish him off. But just then, one of his subordinates struck her hard on the head, knocking her out. At that moment, despite his injuries, the mechanic refused to give up. He picked up a nearby weapon, smashed the assassin's leg, and freed the boy. Unfortunately, she found Bak's gun and shot him down. The heavily injured crime boss still crawled toward his gun, frantically pulling the trigger. Luckily, Yoon-ha leaped through a window, escaping just in time. She took a car and honked nonstop, searching for the boy. Just when it seemed they might escape safely, a forklift truck suddenly charged at them, nearly pushing them into the ocean. Enraged, the crime boss threw the boy into the water. Without hesitation, Yoon-ha dove after him but was shot in the chest. Despite the injury, she managed to stab the crime boss and pushed him into the sea. Struggling, he pulled her down with him, locking them together with handcuffs. In her last moments, Yoon-ha used all her strength to push the boy to safety. The police arrived just in time to rescue the boy, but Yoon-ha sank deeper into the ocean. Some time passed, and the boy returned to his normal life, though he never stopped thinking about Yoon-hae. One day, upon hearing a familiar song, he ran toward the sound and was shocked to find her alive. Thanks to the power of the protagonist, Yoon-ha had miraculously survived. The two of them continued their journey together,